Interior design is about to change forever. I've been paying close attention to where the design and construction industry is moving. And right now, 7 things are shifting at the same time in a way I haven't seen before. Not 7 trends that are coming in and going out. 7 structural changes to how homes are being designed, built, and sold that are going to affect what buyers expect, what contractors are building, and what decisions you're making in a renovation. Most of these you can act on right now. Let's get into it. The death of the single-purpose room. The formal dining room is gone. The formal living room is almost gone. And the home office has a separate dedicated room that's evolving fast. What's replacing all of them is the flex space. And this is not a trend that's going to reverse. According to the NAHB 2026 Best in America Living Awards data, builders are now designing multifunctional spaces into nearly every plan, regardless of square footage. The Pro Builder Residential Design Survey found that nearly half of production designers reportedly designing larger outdoor spaces last year while simultaneously shrinking single-purpose interior rooms. The reason is simple. People don't live in a single-purpose room. A formal dining room gets used 6 times a year. A flex space that can be a home office on Tuesday, a guest room on Friday, and a homework space on Sunday gets used every day. From a contractor standpoint, this changes how you approach a renovation. The question I'm asking clients now is not, do you want a home office? It's, what does this room need to do on the worst Tuesday? That answer drives into the electrical plan, the storage design, the lighting infrastructure, and the built-in configuration. A room that can do 2 or 3 things well is worth significantly more than a room that does 1 thing perfectly. Number 2, warm interiors are not a trend. They are a correction. Gray took over residential interiors for about a decade. Cool white came in right behind it. And now both of them are in a documented retreat that the data confirms. The NAHB judges specifically called out the shift away from stark white and towards warm neutrals, earth tones, and natural wood finishes in the 2026 analysis. The phrase one judge used was more comfortable cottage feel versus minimalistic black and white, which is a polite way of saying the cold, sterile look is done. What's replacing it is warm whites, taupes, clay tones, color drenching, which is the practice of painting walls, trims, and ceiling in the same tone or close variations of the same tone. Color drenching sounds bold, but it reads as calm and it's beautiful. It eliminates the visual competition between the wall color, the trim color, and the room feels wrapped and intentional rather than assembled. The contractor argument for this shift is straightforward. A warm interior photographs better for listings, feels better to live in, and is easier to update over time than stark white or gray baseline. Paint is still $200 to $500 decision on a standard room. Making the right call on color at the start of a renovation costs the same as making the wrong one, and it affects how everything else in the room leads and reads for the next 10 years. Number 3, texture is the new luxury signal. Flat, drywall walls, smooth paint, uniform surfaces, these are what the market is moving away from at the high end. The direction the design world confirmed at the Milan Design Week 2026. It's texture. Primary luxury signal, matte stone, fluted cabinetry, textured plastered, layered materials that have physical depth to them. The phrase that kept showing up across multiple brands in Milan was materials you want to touch. This is significant for the renovations because texture is where a $50,000 kitchen starts reading differently from a $150,000 kitchen. The cabinet box can be the same. The countertop material can be similar, but a fluted cabinet face, a textured stone feature wall behind the range, or a plastered finish on the ceiling instead of a flat paint creates visual and tactile weight that smooth surfaces simply just don't have. The cost? Well, it's more accessible than people might assume. Fluted cabinetry door upgrade from a flat panel could cost you anywhere from $15,000 to $4,000 in a kitchen. Depends on your size, of course. A lime wash or plaster finish on a feature wall could run $8 to $20 a square foot in labor and maybe $2 to $4 in materials. These are not budget-breaking decisions. These are decisions that determine which tier a renovation reads when a buyer or a guest walks in. And that's the difference we like to make. Number 4, lighting becomes a centerpiece. The ceiling grid of recessed light cans is not going away entirely, but it is being demoted. What Milan confirmed and what the renovation market is starting to respond to is lighting as an architectural and artistic element in its own right. Sculptural chandeliers that function as a visual focal point of a room. Integrated LED, coves that wash light across ceilings or walls, statement pendants over islands that are selected with the same intention as a piece of art. The shift in thinking is this. Instead of hanging art and then lighting the room around it, the light itself's become the artwork. This is how high-end hospitality approached lighting for 30 years. Residential design is finally catching up. The contractor argument is the same one I've made before, and it bears repeating here. Lighting infrastructure is cheap to add when the walls are open, and the expense to retrofit afterwards, running circuits for sculptural chandelier location, adding cove details, rough in for under cabinet strips, all this stuff can add up and get expensive after a renovation. But doing it before and planning it while you're in the beginning stages of a renovation is the right order. Before we keep going, let me tell you something real quick. The most expensive mistakes in any renovation don't happen during demolition. They don't happen when the tile goes up or when the cabinets get installed. They happen before any of that. In the conversations you have before you sign anything. When you don't know what questions to ask and your contractor isn't going to volunteer the answers, I've put together a free renovation playbook from over 500 completed luxury projects. It covers exactly what your estimate is probably missing. The things that show up later as change orders, surprises, budget overruns that nobody warned you about. Kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms. These are the spaces where most of the money goes and where most of the decisions get made. It's completely free. The link is in my description. Go grab it before you talk to anyone. Number 5. Built-ins are replacing loose furniture at a high end. The shift away from loose furniture toward built-in integrated storage and cabinetry is one of the clearest signals in the data right now. Seamless cabinetry that runs floor to ceiling, integrated appliances that disappear into the cabinet line, custom storage in every room rather than freestanding furniture that fills a space without anchoring it. The reason this is happening is partly aesthetic and it's partly practical. A built-in reads permanent and intentional, and in a way a freestanding piece doesn't. It also solves the storage problem more completely and in a way that holds up to daily use. And from a resale standpoint, built-in work that's well executed adds directly to the appraised character of a home in a way that a furniture piece will never do. The cost range for built-in work is widely depending on the material and the complexity. A floor-to-ceiling built-in bookcase or entertainment wall in a living room runs $3,000 to $12,000 depending on size and finish level. A fully integrated appliance package in a kitchen, panel-ready refrigerators, integrated dishwashers, concealed range hoods, these can add anywhere from $4,000 to $30,000 on a typical appliance package. Now, these are significant line items. They are also the line items that are the most consistently showing up as the difference makers when a home hits the market or is finished in a renovation. Number 6, technology disappears from view. The smart home conversation has been going on for 15 years, and most of the time it meant visible technology, smart speakers, screens on the wall, charging stations on a countertop, a home theater with visible equipment. The direction everyone is moving right now, the total opposite. Technology doing more, but showing up less. Hidden TVs that reveal themselves from the cabinet or from a lower part of the ceiling. Flush-mounted speakers that disappear into the wall or ceiling surface. Lighting and climate automation that operates without a visible control panel. The goal is to have a home that feels calm, considered, where the technology serves the space rather than defining it. The contractor reality on this is that invisible technology requires more careful infrastructure planning than visible technology. A flush-mounted speaker requires right backing in the wall and the correct wire routing to a central location. A hidden TV requires a motorized mount, a dedicated circuit, and a cabinet or ceiling detail that's built to the exact spec of that equipment going into it. These are not difficult things to build. These are difficult to retrofit, and the time to plan them is obviously before the rough in, not after the drywall is up. Number 7, outdoor living as an interior space. This is the Florida opportunity. This is the one I mentioned at the start, and it's where I want you to pay close attention. If you own a home in the Southwest Florida area, the data on outdoor living is ambiguous. According to a survey about outdoor design professionals, 56% 60% agree that a unified indoor-outdoor design is the dominant trend in outdoor spaces right now. Nearly 40% say outdoor kitchens have been a key feature for years and are not going anywhere. And the Pro Builder Residential Design Survey found that nearly half of production designers reported designing larger outdoor spaces last year, even as square footage was being trimmed. Here's what that means in a market like Naples, where I'm from. Buyers at a price point where luxury homes transact in Southwest Florida are not asking whether you have an outdoor space. They're asking how the outdoor space is designed. A patio with a grill and some furniture is not a selling point at $1.5 million. An outdoor living room with a fully equipped kitchen, weather-rated cabinetry, a pergola or covered structure, and materials that run continuously from the interior floor to the exterior surface is a selling point. It signals that whoever designed this home was thinking about how it's actually lived in. The cost to do this correctly, well, could run anywhere from $40,000 to $200,000 depending on the scope, the structure, and the appliance package. A basic outdoor kitchen with a grill station, refrigerator, and counter runs anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. Adding a pergola structure, a covered living area with weatherproof furniture, and the landscaping design to connect it all, well, that number runs significantly up. But in a market where the competition is the other $1.5 million to $3 million homes, an outdoor living space that photographs well, functions correctly, is one of the highest return investments homeowners can make before selling. Here's my takeaway, guys. 7 shifts, one common thread. Everything is moving between now and 2027, and it's moving towards intentionality. Rooms designed for how people actually live. Materials chosen for how they feel, not just how they look or photograph. Technology and storage that disappear into the architecture rather than sitting on top of it. Outdoor spaces that function as real rooms rather than afterthoughts. The homes that perform at resale over the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the ones where somebody made decisions on purpose all the way through. That's been true for a long time. The difference is now that the bar for what on purpose looks like has moved significantly higher. Drop a comment. You tell me which one of these 7 you're already planning for your new home or your renovation. I'll be surprised which one of these you guys say the most. I read every single comment, and my renovation playbook is in the description. And as always, hit subscribe for a lot more of these that are coming. I'm Blake. Thank you for watching Built by Becker.